As much as you love the law, your love of power overcame that.
Man, I love what the judge told him. Good morning, folks. Welcome back to San Joaquin Valley Transparency.
The court is back in session.
Court of public opinion.
Court of public opinion.
Court of public opinion.
This former Clayton County sheriff was sentenced to federal prison. I actually just watched this video and I like some of the things that were said here, so let's pay attention really quick.
Well, a federal judge in Atlanta has sentenced former Clayton County Sheriff Victor Hill to prison time. This comes after a jury convicted Hill in October on 6 counts of violating the constitutional rights of detainees inside the jail. Fox 5's Claire Sims is...
Did you guys hear what she said? She said that they were violating constitutional rights of the people in jail. One of the things that I've known since I've started my channel is the fact that we're only touching one subject, and that's the First Amendment. Freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of assembly, religion, and petition. But I've always known that the prison system is jacked up. The living conditions are horrible. And I'm not saying all prisons. Some prisons are nice, especially the federal prisons. From my understanding, they let you play tennis and shit. I don't know. A lot of these state prisons, you find that the living conditions are harsh. And let me tell you just my experience in Lerdo, in county jail here. The water is disgusting. Everybody that goes to jail gets dehydrated. And when you're dehydrated enough, then you'll drink the water. It tastes and smells like sulfur. It's very disgusting. It's nasty. I don't see sick people surviving in there. It's probably why they kick them out fast. Let's keep watching. Let's see what else is said here. And I'm going to keep pausing and pointing some things out.
For this case since the beginning, she is live outside the federal courthouse with reaction to what has been a high-profile case, Claire.
Yeah, good afternoon, Christine. I sat next to one of the victims in the courtroom as the judge handed down Hill's sentence, and he cheered, although he later expressed disappointment that the former sheriff never apologized in any way for his actions.
What were you doing in Clayton County that day?
It's a democracy, sir. It's the United States.
No, it's not in my county.
That was video used in the federal trial of former Clayton County Sheriff Victor Hill. Now, the man once tasked with upholding the law will go to prison for breaking it. U.S. District Court Judge Eleanor Ross sentenced Hill to 18 months in federal prison, plus 6 years of supervised release. 1 year for each of the victims whose rights a jury found Hill guilty of violating. During the sentencing, 4 character witnesses spoke on Hill's behalf, including interim sheriff LaVon Allen. Each one of them talked about Hill's positive work out in the community. But prosecutors argued Hill's conduct inside the jail was an affront to our criminal justice system and that he tortured people by ordering them held in restraint chairs. Judge Ross told everyone in the courtroom that she truly struggled with this case and reminded the public that she was not here to punish Victor Hill for everything he's ever done or ever been accused of. Though before announcing Hill's sentence, she had some choice words for the former sheriff. As much as you love the law, your love of power overcame that, Ross told Hill.
Man, I love what the judge told him. As much as you love the law, your love of power overcame that. Is that not every cop that we encounter? Now, I'm not saying every cop is like that. I'm just saying a high percentage of the cops that we encounter while we're out there recording, and that's exactly how they act. You know, they act like they're there to enforce the law, but they're really there to enforce feelings. What they really like is having that power, enforce their power.
More than once, Judge Ross brought up Hill's arrogance and said she prays he will sit down for a moment and think about everything. In a video statement, Assistant Special Agent in Charge Chris McRae with the FBI Atlanta says everyone pays a price when law enforcement officials abuse their power.
The sentencing today.
Hold on, homie. Did you guys hear that? Everyone pays a price when law enforcement abuses their power. Let's rewind that really quick. Let's hear that again.
Assistant Special Agent in Charge Chris McRae with the FBI Atlanta says everyone pays a price when law enforcement officials abuse their power.
Absolutely. Everyone pays a price when cops abuse their power. I like that. I might write that down and use it again. There is something that I say all the time. When you stand up for your rights, you stand up for everyone's rights. When you give up your rights, you make it hard for everybody else. And that kind of goes along the lines with this as well. You know, when cops abuse their power, everybody pays for it. You know, this is no longer a free country, is it? You know, there are some foundations that were laid down for us to follow and to have some kind of moral compass while we get these jobs and we're put in these positions. And a lot of times these cops, they abuse those positions, and that's what we're seeing here. And I'm glad that he was arrested, convicted, because we hardly ever see convictions, folks. But let's watch the rest of the video because there's something said at the end of the video that I want to talk about. So let's get there, folks. It's almost over.
Sentencing today should send a strong message to any law enforcement officer who wants to follow their own version of the law. As I said back at the end, the sentencing today should send a strong message to any law enforcement officer who wants to follow their own version of the law.
Those of you that are cops that are watching right now, that message was for you. Pay attention. We're going to play it for you again.
As I said back, the sentencing today should send a strong message to any law enforcement officer who wants to follow their own version of the law. As I said back at the indictment of the ex-Sheriff Victor Hill, badges and guns don't come with the authority to ignore the Constitution. They come with the
badges and guns don't come with the authority to abuse the Constitution. I love that. Get this guy on my channel.
Badges and guns don't come with the authority to ignore the Constitution. They come with the responsibility to protect it.
Just before learning his sentence, Sheriff Hill told Judge Ross his intent was never to hurt anybody. Hill's defense attorney, Drew Findling, says they will appeal and called the Justice Department's prosecution of the former sheriff selective.
The fact that he's been singled out to us still remains somewhat of a disgrace, and it also remains a disgrace when you look at what's happening at our own U.S. penitentiary. So take your cameras down to the U.S. penitentiary and see how people are living in their own feces, see how rats are in there, see how people are shanking one another, which didn't.
Bam. This slick ass attorney right here, we're gonna call him Slick. He's talking about the justice system, the whole prison system, and how dirty it is. This is the attorney to the cop who got busted. So let me get this straight. That cop is the only one that got busted. None of the other cops got busted along with him. So I'm guessing they must have thrown him under the bus. The attorney is basically saying that he's not the only one that does this. So he's trying to throw everybody else under the bus. And when that doesn't work, the guy's going to try to throw the whole damn system under the bus. Now, I get it. In reality, the whole prison system is screwed up. You know, what's the deal with the whole private system, the private prison system anyways? You understand what I'm saying, guys? In reality, this is just like a big old, everybody's bitch slapping each other, you know, in a triangle, you know, pow, pow, pow. Everybody's standing in a triangle, bitch slapping each other after somebody got in trouble. And this is government for you guys. This is exactly how government operates. They will throw your ass under the bus. They may treat you like you're part of the club, but when somebody needs to go down, it's going to be you. It's not going to be everybody else. It's not going to be the entire department. It's not going to be the entire prison industry. It's not. It's going to be you. You're the one that they're going to throw under the bus. Who knows? Maybe this cop that got busted wasn't being cooperative. Maybe he did a couple things wrong, and maybe he wasn't being cooperative with the way things are ran over there. So they decided to throw him under the bus and get him out of there. Who knows? I don't. I'm just kind of stating what I see. I mean, Victor Hill, does he deserve to be convicted? Well, 6 victims? I mean, possibly, yeah, I think so, if he's creating victims along the way. A lot of folks that watch our channels, they think that we're anti-law enforcement. On the contrary, we're not. We want to see cops and law enforcement do a good job. Catch criminals. A lot of times there's attorney generals, or I think that's what they're called, right? Attorney generals that'll do some investigations on a department. Whether they find that department guilty or not guilty of violating people's constitutional rights, do you know how they solve all the problems, good or bad? They just throw more money at the department. What's funny to me is I've seen several times where money has been thrown at a department that has been corrupt, and they throw the money at the department for training, right? But what kind of training do they get? Still to this very fucking day, I cannot find a video of a cop who gets sworn in and actually knows what he's saying. He actually knows the Constitution. We're not going to find it online. Whenever I see this happening where they just throw more money at a department for more training, I'm just like, fuck, nothing was fixed here. They're still not going to come out knowing the Constitution, the First Amendment. We were born with natural rights. Those elements of the First Amendment, they limit the scope of authority that cops and public officials have over we the people. But anyways, let's finish up this video. Let's listen to what Mr. Slick here says. He's throwing the whole damn prison industry under the bus, and I gotta say I do agree with Mr. Slick.
What our own U.S. penitentiary. So take your cameras down to the U.S. penitentiary and see how people are living in their own feces. See how rats are in there. See how people are shanking one another, which didn't take place at the Clayton County Jail under the leadership of Victor Hill.
Hill's defense team asked Judge Ross to recommend that he be sent
bullshit
to
on
a
that.
minimum security camp because they are concerned about his safety and that he might be a target as a former law enforcement officer. There's no word exactly on when Hill may have to report to prison. We are live outside the federal courthouse. Claire Sims, Fox 5 News.
All right, Claire, thanks so much.
Bitch. So homie decided to go fuck everybody up, right? Homie decides to go create victims along his way, and now he's afraid for his life. Well, shit, that's karma biting you in the ass if I've ever fucking have seen a case of it. And this should be a warning to all the other cops and prison guards who were out there doing dirty ass shit. I want to give a quick shout out to a friend of mine, Rob Farlow. We text each other every day, good morning. A long time ago, I did a podcast interview with Rob Farlow, and Rob Farlow was a correctional officer for a lot of years. He is now the stoned sailor. He found cannabis and it's taken him in a new direction in life, and he's just enjoying life, and he's just a good dude. Quick shout out to Rob Farlow, and this is why I'm giving him a shout out. In the podcast, that interview that we did, Rob Farlow said that wherever he went, wherever he was hired, as soon as he walked in the doors, he made an announcement, and that announcement was, if you're a cop or if you're a correctional officer working alongside me, don't fuck up. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything illegal, because I will turn your ass in. Don't do it in front of me. If you're going to do it, hide it from me, because I will turn you in. He said that because of the way he was stern and he was adamant about not screwing up and not doing bad things, he said he actually had a lot of respect from a lot of other cops in there, and that they kind of knew not to include him in their wrongdoings. And I will say that in the prison system, through correctional officers, you can get whatever you need almost. A lot of times they'll bring you guys food, they'll bring you guys cell phones, they'll bring you guys tattoo ink, colored tattoo ink even, you know, like they will bring you guys a lot of shit. They bring things inside the prisons. They're not being checked properly. I wanted to show you guys this video. I thought it was important when I seen it this morning. I wanted to highlight what's going on, and not just out on the streets, but behind the prison walls. I definitely believe that the people in prison, they shouldn't be tortured. And if that's what Victor Hill was doing, torturing people, that's fucked up. And in my opinion, he deserves a lot of time for it. Not just the measly fucking, 16, 18 months, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was sentenced. But with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. I just wanted to do this one really quick. And let's keep our eyes on the prison system. Let's do some more videos and let's talk about this more. Let's connect with a lot of those channels out there, the prison system community. And let's learn more about specific prisons and what's going on in there. Let's do some investigations, folks. One of the things that I do very well is try to uncover patterns, try to point them out. And just like when I started saying officer safety is cowardice, public safety is heroism, when I said things like, from sea to shining sea, people are picking up cameras, holding cops accountable. You know, I also say this one, what kind of American would I be if I had to ask for freedom? You know, sometimes through patterns, these little quotes or things that I say, sometimes it's like a diamond. I had to watch thousands of videos. I had to write down a whole bunch of stuff. I had to study, and it's just the pressure, you know, created these little diamonds of thoughts. I hope I put that into context correctly. But with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys on the next video if you subscribe and hit the bell. All right, folks, have yourselves a blessed day. Peace.